Okay, so let's run that again. Okay, custom metahuman mesh created in Unreal Engine 5.6 with big eyeballs. We have an issue with the eyeball poking through the eyelids and how to fix. I've been around the houses with Houdini trying to export more targets and re-import them back into Unreal and work out which morph target is what is really complicated because there's a lot of analogies and nested clips that drive other clips inside of a blueprint, so it's really complicated. So here I've managed to use the AR kit, which is kind of driving the metahuman characters a lot, at a top level with simpler named morph target shapes. And I'm just scrubbing through the timeline and finding the blink ones. And you can see terrible blink that I'm getting here on the eye left, sorry, on the eye right. So I'm going to show you my fix, how to fix, or how I managed to fix this quickly in 5.6 with the new tool, edit morph target shapes. Because as I said, I tried to fix it. I mean, I've just tried to export a simple FBX from Unreal Engine from the editing tools here and re-import it back in as a morph target, and it says vertex count has changed. So I haven't figured out yet how to get a clean morph target in and out, but I've worked out a way to fix the morph targets, the eyelid shapes at least, with a rough hack of painting. So once you've installed this morph target editing tool, there's a few things you have to remember. That you have to select your morph target shape first, then edit the tool. If you don't, it will make a new morph target, and it won't affect any of these, and it's all a bit complicated. So as you follow this video, you can see I select the blink right morph target, and then go to edit the mesh. So the blink right is the one that's 0.1 there, 0.999. Select that, modify the morph target shape. So you can see we've got the name selected. So now we are editing the correct morph target. So I'm using something called Sculpting brush, and it's selecting just the component material parts. I think, what does CMP stand for? Let's see. CMP is basically connected mesh components. So that's the secret sauce in all of this. So essentially the problem I had was painting with the eyebrow, painting the eyelid without making the eyeball itself. It's one mesh, but they are divided into face sets or you know, vertex groups or material groups. But essentially the only way to isolate them is having that CMP selected and lowering the weights enough of the brush tools to get sort of effect. And the way this works is you paint on the eyelid itself outside the penetration, so the tool detects which connected mesh part it's connected to, and then slowly paint in. So you can see here, this is what I do. Just got to be a bit careful when selecting and painting. As I said, I'm not a sculptor, but this kind of works. So I'm trying to select just outside and paint in. It's very subtle and it takes a while to build up, and it's hit and miss, but this does work. As you'll see, magically the eyelid should start to, there we go. So it's subtly, because I've got the brush settings low, covering the eyeball itself now, and it's pushing out the normals of their normal direction with the brush tool. That's how I fix the other eyeball. So I'm just doing a bit of smoothing now. So I'm putting the flow up rather than a low flow. For the smoothing, it needs a lot more. It has zero effect otherwise. I'm just trying to smooth out a little bit. Now, you'll see it's very hit and miss. That you have to undo a lot. It's very easy to make the wrong part bulge or go out. So just be careful. But here I'm trying to fix the under eyelid parts, and I'm failing miserably. The eyelid itself I hit first, and that popped out. So I think I just end up trying to smooth it and fail and then undoing. So yeah, it doesn't work. The smooth doesn't work. So I'm like, I'll sod this. I'm going to undo. So be prepared to do that a lot. So just undo, undo. There you go. So second attempt. Make sure that CMP selected, make sure you've got a low weight, and that you do actually start painting from the mesh that you want to affect. So I'm definitely going outside a bit first and then painting in. And it should hopefully bring this out by the normal. I'm not having much success because I think it's kind of hidden. So I give up on this. And I'm trying to smooth on this one now. So yeah, so oh, that's pulling out. Yep, sculpting out, and then I give up and smooth. Yeah, so I pulled out a bit because it wasn't having much effect, and the smooth does actually fix it. So and what I change is to volume mode, because again, the separate components. There's an eye mesh, there's an eyelid, and there's another mesh for the eyeball. There's a few pieces for the eyeball, essentially. So that's the issue. So the volume won't actually fix this one. But again, there's more than one shape. So I think there's about 3 that needs fixing to get the overall shape. So again, I come out of here, I accept that, which then writes that to the data. And you can see generated by engine now, instead of imported with LOD 0. Is the name of that one. So it's been affected by the engine, and I'm scrubbing the timeline to see, and you can see there's another one now that's affected. And so I've got to do a bit of detective work of all of these blend shapes to find out what the hell this blend shape's called, which one's been affected by it. Look, that's a good look down. So I look down right, a blend shape. I want to edit that one. And it's the same process. So basically I want to sculpt N with CMP selected. You can see I'm messing up here. I've actually got vol selected and it's doing on everything. I'm like, what's going on? So you have to be very careful about which mode you're in, what you're painting, what you're doing. You have to be very methodical, but it's definitely doable. So once I realized my mistake, I switched to CMP. Hopefully I'll realize soon. Yes, there we go. And now that should, yeah, so hopefully I'll undo that and do it properly. There we go. See, so that's what should happen if you paint just outside the area with low value settings, pulls and normals just enough past. If you continue to do that, it would make an ugly lump, but that's, you know, that's much better than the eyeball poking through. So this is my suggestion. And so here I'm trying to fix the lower eyelid, but I think sometimes you just realize it's not possible and give up. And what I've realized is there's another one called look down. So that, you know, this is the look down. I think it's called squint, eyeball squint or something. But yeah, I feel that it's a combination of sculpt N with the normals pulled slightly out over the eyeball and go and smooth. And so sometimes smooth is more effective. So I think that's what I use here. So I've written to it again. And I think I'm going to do some more, because this is me editing live and just recording and doing the audio afterwards, obviously. And I'm just trying to comment on, so there's a little bit there still. And let's see what that's doing. So I think this is just eyelids blink right again, but only when it's 0.8. And you can see when I go in, it puts the weight to 1. So if I set the actual weight to 0.8 here, we can see pretty much what's going on with that blink. So set 0.8, fix the actual shape like we did earlier with the sculpt normals on CMP mode. See, I've learned already muscle memory. There you go. Beautiful little perfect fix, except that one. So so that's kind of the blink left. Oh, sorry, the blink right fix and the look down. But if we scrub, there's still a bit of an issue. Yeah, on the bottom. Yeah. So hopefully I fix that. I mean, this is just a quick test to show you how one can fix it, and everybody's eyeballs will be slightly different, but this is a way of fixing it in Engine without having to go to different DCCs that don't have this stupid DNA plugin, because it seems that the only way in and out at the moment with Morph targets is via the DCC DNA. Eye blink, right? So I'm still fixing the eye blink, it looks like. Yeah, that's a nice little fix. I do feel there's one called eye. Is it eye wide or eye squint? I'm sure that there's another one that I fix. I'll keep this playing. But hopefully you'll see that it's a process. There's not a one button fix at the moment. I thought there might be for one to go. I mean, you could probably make one blend shape that fixes it all if you know, but the way that these all depend on each other, and it's subtle rather than one just blanket way. It's anyway. I think that one. I'm trying to find whatever way is causing that one the most, which I'm hopefully as far as I remember, it's the squint. But let's see. There's there's a lot. This is a small subset of them all. But yeah, look, there we go, squint. So we select head mesh, eye squint. And we paint this the same way. We just literally go in, choose the Sculpt N tool with C and P selected. Make sure the flow is low. I've got quite a high flow there, so I have to be gentle. But yeah, just bring the normals out over the eyeball. That's it. Done. And so that's my tip for today, how to fix the eyeball interpenetration with the eyelids problem with custom metahumans with giant eyeballs. There you go. Thank you.